Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. We're into the second session of 10 this afternoon. This session is going to be conducted by Sven Wohlfarth, and he's going to be focusing on the new flexible feeds in Deutsche Börse's A7 analytics platform and how those will change your view on market data. So over to you, Sven. Welcome.
Thank you, Victor. So, welcome everybody. So the first session with slides, so hopefully this thing will work. Oh, cool. So perfect. A7, what is A7? So you may know T7 environment, you may know D7 or C7. Let me explain what A7 really is. So a couple of years back, we only sold more or less raw data to the market. If you want to do some kind of analytics, some kind of gathering insights, it was very, very difficult for you to do that. And therefore, we created A7 as a platform that you can really get insights. And just with prepackaged data, with some analytical services, a platform. So it's really to make the life, when it comes to research, when it comes to let's say, just looking up things, just make it very easy. And our A7 platform consists of three main pillars here. The first pillar is our data shop, basically. So our data shop, what we have here is, yes, you can buy raw data here, but the main focus here is that you can really buy prepackaged data where there's data inside you don't get anywhere else. For example, we have a flows product here. And with the flows product, it's we aggregate data, and you can really see on a T+1 basis what the, let's say, agents do, what the market makers do, and what the prop traders do. And you cannot get that anywhere else, just here. And also, let's say, we have a Clearstream product here, bond liquidity. There's also, let's say, private data aggregated to make your life a little bit easier. Then second, we have our A7 analytics platform. What is the analytics platform? What we have here is we have the most granular data, so our order-by-order data. And this order-by-order data goes really down per instrument, per day, to the very nanosecond. So it's the complete order-by-order data. It's not normalized. It's not in any kind of form changed. It's the original data, and it's super easy for you to just, let's say, drill down to let's say, a very, very deep level on the order book for a specific instrument. It's very powerful, and it looks cool. So we are really excited about that. But today's session is more about our CloudStream technology. What's the purpose behind the CloudStream technology? It's really that we want to give access to our data feeds on a global scale 24/7. So we are coming from a world where it was okay that to build a new connection to an exchange, it takes weeks, months. And it was okay for a customer. They didn't care. But now things are changing, and we need to make it easier, we need to make it faster, we need to make it robuster for a customer to access our data. And that's why we invented this CloudStream. And why these three pillars? They share the same data. So we have let's say, in our environment, we have a very big data port. It's 2 petabytes of data, and all the data shop, the analytics platform, and the CloudStream, they share the same data, and they share a lot of the technology behind the hood. So let me explain a little bit how our CloudStream feed is integrated in our real-time streaming offering. Let's coming from the right to the left. Let's start with a premium feed, and this is the most granular feed. And this feed is very interesting for customers which are interested in low latency data. And Victor asked the question, will it be the case that in a near future that we will have, let's say, all the stuff which is running on-premise in the cloud? Looking at the latency requirements from our customers, technically, it's not possible at the moment. So all these high-frequency traders, they're really focused on sitting very, very close to the machine engine. That's very important for them. What is inside the premium feed? It's all order by order. It's a massive feed. A lot of data is being shipped every day over this feed, and that makes it so complex to analyze this. And that was what was the reason we've built A7, to make it very easy to analyze the premium feed. Next, the Ultra feed. The Ultra feed has not the complexity from the premium feed. Here you really get an order book, and you don't get any of these, let's say, unnecessary levels. It's limited to for Xetra to the level 10, and for Eurex to level 15. So and the data volume here is just 1/3 of the data volume from the premium feed. Next in this line, the CEF core feed. What is CEF? Consolidated exchange feed. Here is not just one exchange, it's 83 sources, so 83 different sources. Not all of them are an exchange. In one single feed. It's a normalized feed. It's for financial information providers, it's for retail brokers, it's for information vendors or end users. It's on the one hand very easy for a customer, but it's still on premise. You need to have a leased line or a VPN connection to, let's say, get access to this feed platform. And then the green one, the cloud stream. It's for, let's say, a similar customer group, but it's very tailored. So we don't have these big markets like Xetra or Eurex on this platform. We only have tailored smaller feeds. So we have the Eurex micro futures and options. We have cryptocurrency futures. We have Xetra ETFs or ETPs. TradeGate is there, or Kaiko, the crypto spot. And here it's running 24/7. It's by default a global solution. So let's take a deeper dive into what is here. What is CloudStream? First of all, it's running on cloud. So we ship the data to an AWS bucket, and then it's running there. From a customer point of view, that's the interesting part. They don't see it's cloud. They simply see it's an API. So you don't have to have an AWS account to access the data. It's a simple API with a publisher behind that, and you can access the data. By default, it's 24/7, as all these clouds. You would imagine there's a perception from our customers that whatever runs in cloud is 24/7. So here. It's global by default, in theory, you can really use the hyperscaler infrastructure to ship the data globally. So the attention was here to offer smaller feeds, more tailored feeds, which is quite easy for example, an Asian customer to get access. Not to build a leased line from Asia to Frankfurt. That's not necessary here. The capacity, and that was one requirement, can be, as you can imagine, in the cloud environment, you can scale up and down quite easily. So it was very easy for us to scale to very high amount of data per day. So we have crypto data here, Kaiko data. And this data, if you, let's say, get the full market, it's 10 billion messages. 10 billion. That is much more compared to the these crazy days in 2020, in March 2020, and it's 2 to 3 terabytes per day, the whole day. So that's crazy. But with a cloud environment, it's quite easy to scale up and down, and we see that here. And then what we have here, it's tailored feeds for specific submarkets or asset groups. We don't want to, let's say, to offer the big feeds. It's more tailored here. We touched on that already. The cloud stream environment sits at the moment at AWS. It will move to Google Cloud. You all know Google Cloud. It's one of the big three cloud providers. The interesting part with Google Cloud is you have over 100 cloud services available under the Google brand. So from smaller, let's say, services like a firewall to really AI, complex machine learning stuff. So it's really cool. And we touched on that already. So we, as Deutsche Börse, we want to migrate from AWS to GCP. And not just AWS, we also want to, let's say, migrate over 1,000 applications from on-premise to the new GCP environment. Reza mentioned that we would like to have a footprint much higher compared to the 40% per day. So, and that's one pillar of this strategic project. Second, today, as you could imagine, Deutsche Börse, various legal entities, and it's quite siloed at the moment. So we have a Clearstream silo, we have a trading silo, And we want to break this silo down, because the data, it doesn't make sense to really look on all these silos. We want to, let's say, make data available within the whole group. Therefore, we build a data mesh and a marketplace that data can be accessed quite easily. We touched on that already. Digital assets business platform. You've seen the Investors Day last week. That is a big topic on our growth agenda. It's being built with T7 within the Google Cloud, and already these D7, they are sitting in Azure at the moment, but they will use the Google Cloud project to deliver a complete new issuer platform with a real, let's say, digital touch. And I would like to look into 4 Google services and how we may use it in future. So what you see on the left side, you see PubSub and BigQuery. And PubSub is relatively easy. You publish data. That's us. We publish data. You are the subscriber. You can subscribe to a topic and can, let's say, then listen to the feed. And whenever something is coming, you can let's say, you can act on that. And this is no difference to our existing cloud streaming technology. It's the same. What's the difference? The difference is, if you want to, let's say, use our cloud stream environment at the moment for something else, you have to build a pipe. You have to ingest data from A to B. That's complex. We want to reduce this kind of complexity, because whenever something is in this cloud environment, all the rest can have access to. So for example, if we ingest data into PubSub, with just a click and a little bit of configuration, we can store the data in BigQuery. BigQuery, a big warehouse, to store market data, that's us, and to query data and ingest data into some kind of apps, that could be you. But that is not a complex thing. It's natively be there, and you can just, with a click, we can enable that. Second, APG. Building an API is easy. Publish an API in a secure way, not that easy. I'll give you one example. With APG, we will have automated security with machine learning-based abuse detection. What is abuse detection? So coming back to our A7 analytics platform, there is an API, and you can query market data to say, give me one instrument from yesterday at 2 p.m. And then you can get the data. And that's the purpose for this API. This API is not written that you download the whole market data for 1 year. But how do you, let's say, define between that is good use, how we intend it for, that is bad use? That's very, very complex. And with this platform, it makes our life easier, which means we can be much more, let's say, pushing stuff where we today say, oh, maybe we can see some kind of abuse. We are, let's say, we are limiting ourselves at the moment with this kind of stuff. Not necessary. And again, performance scalability, we touched on that already. Cloud is the key factor when you, let's say, want to scale things up and down. Then I would like to take a look at Looker. Looker, recently acquired by Google, is a business intelligence platform. It's a tool, as every business intelligence platform, you analyze and query data. You see a little screenshot here. It's, let's say, the data sits in the cloud. The data is, let's say, with PubSub or BigQuery is available. And you just put another layer of application to analyze data, to make cool dashboards, to really get insights here. And that is, let's say, that is the way going forward. We don't want to build a service, here service, there service, there service, there service, and to bring all that together lies on you. No. We want to say great services where it's within one ecosystem, and maybe multiple ecosystems. Maybe, let's say, do stuff with Google and Databricks or with Snowflake. So we're trying at the moment with them how we can, let's say, interact with them, because there's so many possibilities how you can work with our data. That's it. Thanks. Any kind of questions from you guys? Yes.
Yeah. So I had a question. You mentioned you offer in the A7 like order by order.
Yes.
Data. So particular instrument 2 p.m. Shows you the feed for that time period. Yeah, sure. So my question was, what about quotes? Do you have, for example, an option so that someone could select like a delta range or something like that and see, okay, how are the screens lit, what sort of spread is offered, etc. As I think that would be an interesting feature as well for a wide variety of members. Do you have something like that?
What we don't have at the moment is all the complete reference data, but what we have is what is inside the OBO feed is also inside A7. There's no limit. So options are available. You can calculate Greeks, for example, and that is all available. Stefan will present something. So he's, let's say, on the quantitative side, using A7 quite heavily. So he's the expert on what you really can do. But to give you an answer on that, the data is complete.
Okay, perfect.
Hi. So my question will be, how will the pricing be based? Is it based on the downloaded volume, or, for example, order by order? And can you give a rough estimate about how the spread is between the various different stages of the downloadable volumes?
So what we have at the moment is a fixed price per month in all areas, because that is when we talk to customers, they hate that kind of flexible approach. Somebody is using that heavily, costs a lot of money. Somebody is not using that, costs less money. They are more happy at the moment with a fixed fee per month, because it's easier for them to get budget for that. That's super easy. We are trialing that, and by the end of next year, where we want to have services available where you can buy tokens, and then let's say buy 10,000 tokens, and you can, let's say, shoot a lot of requests to the API to have more. It's like more like a freemium model, away from fixed price, high fixed price, more to, let's say, more to a tailored one. That's our goal.